Blood splattered across the concrete as Derek Sullivan's steel pipe cracked against Ethan Blackwell's skull for the second time. The billionaire collapsed, gasping, his vision fading to black. "Everything you have should have been mine!" Derek screamed, raising the pipe for the killing blow. His hands trembled with 10 years of jealousy, his face twisted with pure hatred. "Your company, your success, your life." The pipe came down. But 30 feet above, on the 4th-floor scaffolding, a muscular woman who'd been sleeping on this construction site for 3 weeks saw everything. And Bella Morrison didn't hesitate. She jumped. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Stay with us until the end of this incredible story and comment below with the city you're watching from so we can see how far this story travels. Now let's begin. 3 weeks earlier. Move those cinder blocks to the east wall, now. Bella Morrison didn't look up. Just grabbed 2 blocks 90 pounds each and started walking. Her arms burned, but she'd learned something important in her first week at this Manhattan construction site. The less you said, the more invisible you became. And invisible was safe. "Hey, Morrison, you need help." "I'm good, Tommy." Tommy Rizzo jogged alongside her anyway. "You know most guys use a dolly for even one of those, right?" "Most guys aren't me." "Yeah, I noticed." He grinned. "Half the crew still can't believe Marcus hired a woman. The other half can't believe you work harder than all of them combined." Bella set down the blocks where Marcus had indicated. Her white tank top clung to her back, soaked through with September sweat. She wiped her forehead with her forearm and reached for her water bottle. "Morrison." Marcus Chen stood 30 feet away, his weathered face unreadable. Bella's stomach tightened. Had she done something wrong? Placed the blocks in the wrong spot? Taken too long? "Yes, sir." "My office. Now." Tommy whistled low. "That didn't sound good." "I'm probably fired." "For what?" "Being the best worker here." But Bella knew better. There was always a reason. Too strong, too masculine, too much. She'd heard them all before in Hickory Hollow, Tennessee, where even her own grandmother had called her unnatural. Marcus's trailer office was cramped and smelled like coffee and sawdust. He gestured for her to sit. "You've been sleeping on site." Not a question. A statement. Bella's heart hammered. "I can explain." "I don't need explanations. I need honesty. How long you been homeless?" The word hung between them like something ugly. Bella swallowed hard. 8 months, since I left Tennessee." "Why'd you leave?" "Because staying meant dying slowly. Just a different kind of dying than freezing on the streets, but dying all the same." The words came out harder than she intended. "People back home thought I was a freak. Maybe they were right." Marcus leaned back in his chair, studying her. "You think you're a freak?" "I think I'm a woman with more muscle than most men, and that makes people uncomfortable." "Makes them uncomfortable, or makes you uncomfortable?" She didn't answer. Marcus pulled out his tablet, typed something, turned it toward her. "That's your work log. 3 weeks. 0 complaints. 0 mistakes. You've moved more material than any 3 workers combined, showed up early every single day, and I've watched you help other people finish their jobs when you're done with yours." He paused. "That's not a freak. That's the best damn worker I've seen in 20 years. Bella blinked fast, refusing to let tears form. "Owner's coming today for an inspection," Marcus continued. "Ethan Blackwell himself. I'm telling him about you." "Please don't." "Why not?" "Because people like him don't notice people like me. And when they do, it's never good. People like him. Rich people, powerful people, people who've never had to choose between eating and having a place to sleep." Marcus stood up. "Well, he's gonna notice you anyway because you're out there doing impossible work in plain sight. So when he does, hold your head up. You earned your spot here." An hour later, everything changed. The black Tesla rolled through the gates like it owned the place, which technically it did. Bella was mixing concrete, her arms working the heavy paddle through the thick mixture when the noise around her died. Construction sites were never quiet, but suddenly, everyone had stopped working. She looked up. A man stood near the entrance, and even from 40 feet away covered in concrete dust, Bella knew she was looking at money. Real money. His charcoal suit probably cost more than she'd made in the last year. Dark hair perfectly styled. Posture that said he'd never worried about where his next meal came from. Ethan Blackwell. He was talking to Marcus, gesturing at the building, but his attention kept drifting. Scanning. Looking. And then his gaze landed on her. Bella looked away fast. Focused on her concrete. The paddle suddenly felt like it weighed twice as much. "Who's that?" The voice made her jump. She spun to find Ethan Blackwell standing 10 feet away, looking directly at her. Marcus appeared beside him. "That's Bella Morrison, sir. Been with us 3 weeks. She's mixing concrete. Among other things. Does whatever needs doing." Ethan walked closer. Up close, he was younger than she expected, maybe 30. His eyes were deep brown, intelligent, curious. He studied her the way someone might study a puzzle they couldn't quite figure out. "You carry those, He pointed at the cinder blocks she'd stacked earlier. "Yes, sir." "How many at a time?" Her throat felt tight. "2, sometimes 3. His eyebrows rose. "Most of my crew uses a dolly for one. I don't mind carrying them, it's faster. It's impressive." He held out his hand. "Ethan Blackwell." She looked at her concrete-covered palm, then at his expensive suit. "I'm filthy." "I don't care." Something in his voice made her believe him. She wiped her hand on her jeans as best she could and shook his hand. His grip was firm, warm, and he held her gaze in a way that made her heartbeat quicken. "How long have you been in construction?" 3 weeks here, but I've done physical labor my whole life." "What brought you to New York?" The question caught her off guard. Nobody asked about her story. "Needed a change." "I understand that." Something flickered in his expression. "Sometimes you have to leave everything behind to find where you belong." He glanced at Marcus. "She's sleeping on site." Bella's stomach dropped. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. "That's temporary," she said quickly. "I'm saving up." "How much have you saved?" "That's not really—" She stopped. This was his site. His building. $200. "In 3 weeks. I eat light." Ethan looked at Marcus. "Give her a $5 an hour raise, effective immediately. Mr. Blackwell. And find her a room. We've got those units in Brooklyn from last month's project. Put her in one." Bella's heart hammered. "I can't afford—" "Free for 6 months. By then you'll have enough saved for your own place." His tone left no room for argument. "Consider it a signing bonus." She stared at him. Behind him, crew members watched with expressions ranging from jealousy to disbelief. "I don't accept charity." "Good. This isn't charity. This is investment. I invest in people who work hard and deliver results." He pulled out a business card. "My personal number. Problems with the apartment, call me directly." "I don't understand why you're doing this." He studied her for a moment. "Because 3 weeks ago, Marcus told me half his crew threatened to quit when he hired a woman. He also told me that woman turned out to be his best worker. I built my company on talent over tradition." He paused. "And because you remind me that people are more than what others assume about them." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, frowned. "I have to take this. Keep up the excellent work, Bella." He walked away already on his phone, leaving her standing in concrete dust and confusion. Tommy appeared instantly. "Did that just happen?" "I think so." "Bella Morrison, you just got noticed by a billionaire." He grinned. "In a good way. A really good way." But Bella couldn't shake the feeling in her gut. Nobody gave away apartments and raises to construction workers they'd just met. What did Ethan Blackwell really want? That evening after the crew left, Bella sat on her makeshift bed of folded tarps and stared at the business card. Embossed letters, Ethan Blackwell CEO, Blackwell Energy Solutions. Her phone rang, the old flip phone she'd bought at a pawn shop. "Bella." "Mama." "Baby, I've been worried sick. You haven't called in 2 months." "I know. I'm sorry." Things have been... She trailed off. How did you explain sleeping on construction sites to your mother? Are you eating? Do you have a place to stay? Actually, yeah, something happened today. Bella explained everything, the job meeting, Ethan, the apartment offer. Her mother was quiet for a long moment. This man, he saw you. What do you mean? I mean, he saw you. Not just your muscles, not just your strength. You, the person who works hard and asks for nothing. I guess. Then take what he's offering. Not because of the money, because someone finally recognized your worth. What if I'm not good enough? Bella Morrison, you've spent 25 years being told you were too much and not enough all at once. Maybe it's time to find out what happens when someone thinks you're exactly right. The Brooklyn apartment had exposed brick, large windows, afternoon light. Bella stood in the doorway for a full 5 minutes before she could make herself walk inside. You okay? Marcus asked behind her. I haven't had my own place since I left home. Her voice cracked. I've been in shelters or sleeping rough for 8 months. Well, you got your own place now, and you earned it. After Marcus left, Bella did something she hadn't done in months. She cried. Not sad tears. Hope tears. Relief tears. Tears that washed away some of the shame. She took a long shower, put on clean clothes, made a fried egg sandwich that tasted like heaven. Then lay on the real bed and stared at the ceiling, thinking about brown eyes and a handshake and words that echoed, "People are more than what others assume about them." The next morning, she arrived at the site early, clean clothes, real sleep hope sitting lighter in her chest. Morning, Bella, Tommy called, handing her coffee. How's the new place? Heaven. You deserve it. He smiled. Besides, after yesterday's billionaire knight in shining armor thing, figured you could use normal human interaction. Was it that obvious I was freaking out? Only to everyone with eyes. He laughed. But seriously, that was wild. Blackwell doesn't usually pay attention to individual workers. Ever. The fact that he noticed you and set you up, that's unprecedented. Something in his tone made her pause. You think it was weird? I think it was generous, but I also think... He hesitated. Ethan Blackwell is ruthlessly professional. He doesn't do personal favors. So either you impressed him more than anyone ever has, or there's more to it. Before she could respond, Marcus's voice boomed. Morrison, stop socializing, start working. The days fell into rhythm. Work was still hard, but now Bella returned to a place that was hers. She cooked real meals, slept through nights, started believing her life might actually turn around. Ethan didn't return to the site that week, or the next. By the third week, Bella had almost convinced herself their interaction had been a one-time thing. Then Derek Sullivan arrived. Crew meeting. Marcus announced Thursday morning. New site manager joining us. Derek Sullivan, Mr. Blackwell's business partner. He'll be overseeing this project personally. Derek stepped forward, and Bella's instincts screamed warning. There was something in his smile that didn't reach his eyes, something in how he surveyed the crew like he was evaluating livestock. I've heard great things about this crew, Derek said smoothly. Ethan speaks highly of your progress. I'm here to ensure we maintain momentum and finish ahead of schedule. His gaze swept across workers and stopped on Bella. His eyes narrowed. You must be Isabella Morrison. Yes, sir. I've heard about you. The woman who impressed Ethan so much, he set up housing. Something sharp edged his words. Must be nice having friends in high places. I work as hard as anyone here. I'm sure you do. His tone said he thought otherwise. Let's see if you can maintain that standard under my supervision. Over the next week, Derek scrutinized her constantly, found fault where Marcus had found none. Assigned her the worst jobs. When she carried 3 blocks, he questioned why she needed to show off. When she carried 1, he asked if she was getting lazy. He's riding you hard, Tommy observed at lunch. Everyone's noticed. I can handle it. I know you can. But why's he doing it? Maybe he doesn't think women belong here. Maybe. Tommy didn't sound convinced. That evening, most of the crew had left. Bella was behind equipment stacks when she heard Derek's voice. "I'm telling you, Ethan's losing focus." Derek's phone conversation was angry sharp. Setting up that construction worker in an apartment, getting personally involved with crew hiring. It's not like him. He's distracted making emotional decisions instead of business ones. Pause. No, I haven't confronted him. But someone needs to remind him what's important. This company was built on efficiency, not charity cases, and whatever the situation with that woman is. Bella's blood ran cold. Don't tell me I'm overreacting. I know Ethan better than anyone. We built this company together, and I'm not going to stand by while he ruins everything because he's suddenly developed a conscience or worse. Longer pause. Fine. I'll handle it my way. But if he's compromised, if he's letting personal feelings interfere with business, then maybe it's time to consider other options. The board's been restless anyway. The call ended. Bella remained frozen, heart pounding so hard Derek might hear it. What had she just heard, a threat? And what did he mean by other options? She waited until Derek left before emerging. Her hands were shaking. Bella. Marcus appeared from the office. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I'm fine. Just tired. But that night in her apartment, she paced replaying Derek's words. The venom when he mentioned her. The implication that Ethan's generosity was weakness. The suggestion of consequences. She should tell someone. But who Ethan? They'd spoken once. Calling a billionaire to say his business partner was talking behind his back seemed insane. Marcus. This was way above his pay grade, so she stayed silent, went to work, endured Derek's criticism, kept her head down. But she watched Derek more carefully now. Noticed things. How he tensed when Ethan's name came up. How his jaw clenched at any praise for the company. How his eyes followed her with intensity that had nothing to do with work. Jealousy. Pure toxic jealousy. 2 days later, Ethan returned. He arrived without warning, pulling up in his Tesla just after lunch. Bella was on the 4th floor installing window frames when she heard commotion below. She looked down to see Ethan shaking Marcus's hand, laughing. Her stomach flipped. "Boss man's back," Tommy said. "And he's heading this way." Ethan stopped below, looking up. His eyes scanned floors until they found her. He raised a hand in greeting. She waved back awkwardly. "Oh, man." Tommy whistled. "He came to see you." "Don't be ridiculous." Bella the man just walked into an active construction site in a $1,000 suit to visit the 4th floor. That's not normal. Ethan emerged from the elevator moments later, wearing a hard hat that looked oddly charming. Bella. He approached with that confident stride. "How's the apartment?" "Perfect, thank you." "You've thanked me enough. No more necessary." He smiled. "Marcus says you've been invaluable to this project." "Marcus is generous. Marcus is accurate." Ethan glanced at the window frame. "May I?" He picked up one of the frames, testing its weight. "This is 80 pounds. 92, actually," Tommy supplied. "And you carry these up 4 flights. Elevators for equipment. Frames come upstairs." "How many per day?" 30, 40 maybe." He stared. "That's over 3,000 pounds you're carrying up 4 flights every day." She shrugged. "It needs to get done." "No." His voice was firm. "It's not just work. It's exceptional capability applied with consistent dedication. That's rare." He paused. "Can we talk privately?" Tommy suddenly became fascinated with his phone. Bella followed Ethan to a quiet corner. "I want to ask you something. Feel free to say no." Ethan met her eyes. "I'm creating a new position. Personal security coordinator. I don't know anything about security. You know about awareness, about protection, about being physically capable of handling threats." He held her gaze. "I received a threat last week. Anonymous, probably nothing. But it's the 3rd one this month. My head of security wants me to have dedicated protection, someone close who can respond immediately. Someone strong enough to actually protect me, not just call for help. You want me to be your bodyguard? I want someone I trust, who happens to be capable of protection. There's a difference. Mr. Blackwell. Ethan. Ethan, I'm a construction worker. I carry blocks. I'm not qualified. You're qualified to be aware, to react, to use your capabilities when needed. The rest can be trained. He pulled out his phone, showed her the screen. This would be your salary. Her eyes widened. 4 times her construction pay. That's insane. That's market rate for executive protection. But I'm not. Bella, someone recently told me people are more than what others assume about them. She was mixing concrete at the time. He smiled. You have physical capability awareness, and something more important, you're genuine. I've spent my life surrounded by people who want something from me. In 5 minutes 3 weeks ago, you made it clear you didn't want anything except to do your job well. That's worth more than any security certification. I need to think. Of course. Take a few days. He touched her arm lightly. I'm not offering this because I feel sorry for you. I'm offering because I believe you're the right person. After he left, Tommy approached. So, billionaire job offer. Something like that. You gonna take it? She looked at her concrete-stained hands. I don't know. That night she called her mother. Bella, honey, are you okay? I'm fine, Mama. Better than fine. I need advice. She explained everything. Her mother was quiet. Baby, this man sees you. What do you mean? I mean he sees you. Not just muscles. Not just strength. You, the person, the heart. I guess. Then take the job. Not because of money, because someone finally recognized your worth. That's something to build on. What if I'm not good enough? Bella Morrison, you spent 25 years being told you were too much and not enough all at once. Maybe it's time to find out what happens when someone thinks you're exactly right. The next morning, Bella called Ethan's number. This is Ethan. It's Bella Morrison. Bella, hi, have you decided? Yes, I'll take the job, but I have conditions. I'm listening. I want real training. Proper security training, not just being hired because I'm strong. And if I'm not good at it, you fire me. No special treatment. Deal. When can you start? 2 weeks. I need to finish my commitment here. Give Marcus proper notice. 2 weeks then. She heard the smile in his voice. Welcome to the team, Bella. She hung up feeling dizzy. In 3 weeks, she'd gone from homeless to housed to employed by a billionaire. It felt like someone else's life. Derek appeared that afternoon, expression stormy. Heard you're leaving. Giving 2 weeks' notice. Moving on to better things. Sarcasm dripped. With Ethan. Just different things. Don't play stupid. He stepped closer. You show up, play the struggling woman card, happen to be working when the owner visits. Suddenly you've got an apartment and a new job. That's quite a strategy. Anger flared hot. I didn't ask for any of it. Right. You just earned it with your exceptional work ethic. He laughed bitterly. You know what I think, Ethan's going through something. Crisis maybe, and you're convenient. The charity project that makes him feel good about himself. You're wrong. Am I? Or are you too naive to see when you're being used? He walked away. Bella stood there, hands clenched, breathing hard. Was he right? Was she just a project? No. She'd seen Ethan's eyes. That wasn't pity. That was recognition. But doubt once planted was hard to uproot. The 2 weeks crawled. Derek's hostility increased, changing her assignments without warning, criticizing her work publicly, making comments about special treatment, and knowing the right people. Tommy and Marcus noticed. He's being an ass, Tommy said. Everyone sees it. I can handle it. You shouldn't have to. On her last day, Marcus pulled her aside. Whatever's happening between you and Blackwell and Sullivan, be careful. I've seen office politics destroy good people. It's not politics. It's always politics when money and power are involved. Marcus's expression was serious. You're good people, Bella. Don't let anyone use that against you. That evening, she packed her few belongings, spare boots, a sweatshirt, a water bottle Tommy had given her. Small things that represented the first place in a long time where she'd felt like she belonged. You'll do great, Tommy said, helping carry things to her truck. Another Ethan gift that had arrived last week. How do you know? Because you're Bella Morrison. You don't know how to do anything except great. She hugged him. Thanks for being kind when nobody else was. Hey, we construction workers stick together, even when one of us moves up to protecting billionaires. Monday morning. Bella stood in her mirror wearing professional clothes. Ethan's assistant had sent dark pants, fitted blazer, comfortable shoes that looked professional but allowed movement. She barely recognized herself. The Blackwell Energy Solutions headquarters was a gleaming tower in Midtown Manhattan. Bella walked through the lobby, feeling like an imposter, like security would stop her any second. But the receptionist smiled warmly. Ms. Morrison, Mr. Blackwell is expecting you. 28th floor. The elevator ride felt endless. Doors opened to marble floors, original artwork, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Bella. Ethan appeared from a doorway wearing dark jeans and a button-down more casual than she'd seen. He looked genuinely happy. Ready for your first day? Nervous. Good. That means you care. He gestured. Let me show you around. The next hour was a whirlwind. Meeting Jennifer, his assistant, touring offices, being introduced to 50 people whose names she'd never remember. Everyone was polite professional, but she saw questions in their eyes. Who is she? Why is she here? Finally, Ethan led her to a private office next to his. This is yours. I get an office? You're my personal security coordinator. You need space. He leaned against the doorframe. I know this is overwhelming, but you'll do great. Just be yourself. That's the problem. Myself doesn't belong here. Bella. He waited until she looked at him. I don't hire people who belong. I hire people who are exceptional and create a place for them to belong. You'll make this space yours. His phone buzzed. He frowned. I need to take this. Security team wants to brief you this afternoon. Jennifer has your schedule. If you need anything, you come to me directly. Okay? She nodded. After he left, Bella sat in her office and tried to process. 3 weeks ago, she'd been sleeping on a construction site. Now, she had an office with a Manhattan view and a job protecting one of the richest men in America. Ms. Morrison. A woman stood in the doorway. Late 40s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. I'm Victoria Chen, head of executive security. I understand Mr. Blackwell hired you for personal protection. Yes, ma'am. Victoria's expression was carefully neutral. No offense, but this is highly unusual. We have a professional security team, adding someone without training or background checks. I'm happy to do whatever training or checks you require. That's not the point. Victoria stepped inside, closed the door. The point is, you're a potential security risk. We don't know, you don't know your background, don't know your motivations. And suddenly, you have unfettered access to a man worth $3 billion. Mr. Blackwell trusts me. Mr. Blackwell is trusting by nature. It's his greatest strength and biggest vulnerability. Victoria studied her. I've been protecting Ethan Blackwell for 5 years. I've vetted everyone who gets close to him. You're the first person he's hired over my objection. I didn't know you objected. He didn't tell you interesting. Victoria pulled out a tablet. Here's what's going to happen. You'll undergo full security training, threat assessment, defensive tactics, emergency protocols. You'll wear a tracker at all times when you're with Mr. Blackwell. You'll report any suspicious behavior, unusual contacts, changes in routine directly to me. And if I determine at any point you're a threat, I'm not. Everyone's a threat until they prove otherwise. Victoria's voice was cold. Welcome to executive protection, Ms. Morrison. Prove me wrong. After she left, Bella sat in stunned silence. She'd expected challenges, not outright hostility, not being treated like she was dangerous. A knock. Jennifer peeked in. Everything okay? Victoria looked intense. She thinks I'm a security risk. Victoria thinks everyone's a security risk. It's literally her job. Jennifer came in with a tablet. Don't take it personally. She interrogated me for 3 days when I started, and I'm just an assistant. You're actually going to be physically near Ethan, so of course she's paranoid. Is she always like that? Only with people she doesn't trust yet. Give her time. Once she sees you're genuine, she'll back off. Jennifer smiled. For what it's worth, I think it's cool Ethan hired you. Everyone here is so corporate and stiff. You're different. Real. Different doesn't always mean better. In this place, it definitely does. The afternoon security briefing was intense. 4 hours of threat scenarios, emergency procedures, communication protocols. Bella's head spun. You'll start physical training tomorrow, Victoria said at the end. Defensive tactics, situational awareness weapons, familiarization. Weapons. You're protecting a billionaire. Yes, weapons. Victoria's expression was unreadable. Be here at 6 a.m. Wear workout clothes. That evening, exhausted and overwhelmed, Bella returned to her apartment to find a package waiting. A new phone, high-end security grade. The note was in Ethan's handwriting, for work. My direct number is programmed in. Call any time for anything. E. She held the phone, feeling its weight. This was real. This job, this opportunity, this inexplicable faith Ethan Blackwell had in her. Her old phone rang. She answered without checking. Bella Morrison. The voice was unfamiliar. Male. Cold. Yes. You need to stay away from Ethan Blackwell. This is your only warning. The line went dead. Bella stood frozen, phone pressed to her ear, heart hammering. The apartment that had felt safe moments ago suddenly felt exposed. Vulnerable. She looked at the new phone Ethan had sent. Looked at her old phone with its unknown threatening caller. Someone knew where she lived, knew her name, knew about Ethan. And they were watching. Bella's body moved before her brain caught up. She didn't think about the 4-story drop, or the concrete below, or what would happen if she missed. She just saw Derek's pipe coming down toward Ethan's head, and she jumped. Her boots hit scaffolding on the 3rd floor. She grabbed a support beam, swung her body weight around it, dropped to the 2nd floor. Her hands burned from the friction, but she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Derek's pipe was still raised when Bella's feet hit the ground floor. Get away from him! Derek spun around, eyes wide with shock. For 1 second, maybe 2, he froze. That was all Bella needed. She crossed the 30 feet between them in 4 strides. Derek swung the pipe at her head. But Bella ducked under it, came up inside his reach, and drove her fist into his solar plexus with every ounce of strength she had. The air exploded from Derek's lungs. His eyes bulged. The pipe clattered to the concrete. You! He gasped. Bella hit him again, this time in the jaw. Derek's head snapped back, and he went down hard, skull cracking against the ground. He didn't move. Bella stood over him, breathing hard, fists still clenched. Then she remembered. Ethan! She dropped to her knees beside him. Blood matted his dark hair running down his temple. His eyes were closed. His breathing was shallow, ragged. Ethan, can you hear me? Her hands shook as she pressed fingers to his neck. Pulse. Weak, but there. Stay with me. Please stay with me. His eyelids fluttered but didn't open. Bella looked around wildly. Her phone was in her locker on the 4th floor. The site office was locked. Derek's phone had skittered somewhere in the darkness. She had no choice. Bella slid her arms under Ethan's body. He was 6'2", maybe 190. She'd lifted heavier on the construction site, but never something this precious. Never someone whose life depended on her not dropping him. She stood. Her legs screamed in protest, but held. I've got you, she whispered against his hair. I've got you. Then she ran. 6 blocks to Mount Sinai Hospital. Bella didn't stop once. Didn't slow down. Her lungs burned like someone had lit them on fire. Her arms went numb around the third block. By the fifth block, tears were streaming down her face, but she couldn't tell if they were from exertion or fear. "Help!" She burst through the emergency room doors. "Help! He's been attacked!" 3 nurses materialized instantly. A gurney appeared. Hands pulled Ethan from her arms, and suddenly Bella was standing there empty, shaking, covered in his blood. What happened? A doctor in blue scrubs appeared jogging alongside the gurney as they rushed Ethan down a hallway. "Head trauma. Hit with a steel pipe. Twice." Bella's voice sounded strange to her own ears. Distant. "Maybe 3 minutes ago. He lost consciousness." "Are you family?" "I'm—" What was she? His bodyguard. His employee. The woman who'd slept on his construction site. "I'm the one who saved him." The doctor disappeared through double doors. A nurse with kind eyes touched Bella's arm. "You need to sit down, honey. You're in shock." "I'm fine." "You're swaying on your feet and you've got blood all over you. Come on, let's get you cleaned up." The nurse led her to a bathroom. Bella stared at herself in the mirror and barely recognized what she saw. Blood streaked her face, her arms soaked into her tank top. Her hands were scraped raw from the scaffolding. Her eyes looked wild, haunted. "He has to be okay," she whispered to her reflection. "He has to be." She washed the blood off mechanically. The water in the sink ran red, then pink, then clear. But she could still feel it on her skin, sticky and warm. When she returned to the waiting room, 2 police officers were standing by the reception desk. "Ms. Morrison." The older one, a black woman with gray streaking her temples, approached. "I'm Detective Sarah Chen. This is Officer Rodriguez. We need to ask you some questions about what happened tonight." Bella's legs finally gave out. She sank into a plastic chair. "Derek Sullivan attacked him, Ethan's business partner. I saw it happen from the 4th floor of the construction site." "You saw the attack." "I heard it first, the sound when the pipe hit his head. Then I looked down and saw Derek standing over him ready to hit him again." Bella's voice cracked. "So I jumped." Officer Rodriguez's eyebrows rose. "You jumped from the 4th floor." "I used the scaffolding, climbed down as fast as I could. By the time I got there, Derek was about to kill him." "What did you do?" "I hit him, knocked him out. Then I carried Ethan here." Detective Chen wrote something in her notebook. "You carried a full-grown man 6 blocks. I'm strong." "Clearly." Chen studied her. "Ms. Morrison, how do you know Mr. Blackwell?" "I work for him. Personal security coordinator." "How long have you held that position?" "Today was my first day." The detective's pen paused. "Your first day?" "I was supposed to start Monday, but I came in tonight to pick up some paperwork from the office. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous about the new job, so I decided to go back to the construction site where I used to work, just to think. That's when I saw Derek's car pull in." The words tumbled out faster. "I knew something was wrong. Derek had been hostile to me for weeks when I was working construction. He resented Ethan for helping me. And tonight, when I saw them together at the site alone, I just knew." "Take a breath," Chen said gently. "You're doing fine. Where is Mr. Sullivan now?" "Still at the construction site. Unconscious. I knocked him out." Rodriguez spoke into his radio. "Dispatch, we need a unit at the Blackwell construction site on West 47th. Suspect an assault case, currently unconscious. Use caution." The next 3 hours crawled by like years. Bella sat in that plastic chair, stood up, paced, sat back down, stood up again. Nurses walked by. Doctors talked in low voices. A janitor mopped the floor. Everything felt surreal, like she was watching herself in a movie. At some point, a nurse brought her coffee. It tasted like burnt cardboard, but Bella drank it anyway. Detective Chen returned with a tablet. "Mr. Sullivan is in custody. He regained consciousness and is claiming self-defense. Says Mr. Blackwell attacked him first, and you assaulted him without provocation." "That's a lie." "We know. Security footage from a neighboring building caught part of the incident. Shows Sullivan striking Blackwell while Blackwell's back was turned. We've got him on attempted murder. Chen paused. You saved a man's life tonight, Ms. Morrison. We'll need a full statement, but that can wait until you've had some rest. I'm not leaving until I know he's okay. I understand. Chen handed her a card. Call me tomorrow. We'll need you to come down to the station. After the detective left, Bella returned to her vigil, waiting. Watching the double doors that Ethan had disappeared through, praying to a God she wasn't sure she believed in anymore. Please, let him be okay. Please. I'll do anything. Just let him be okay. She must have dozed off because the next thing she knew, someone was touching her shoulder. Bella jerked awake, heart hammering. Ms. Morrison. A young doctor with tired eyes stood in front of her. I'm Dr. Patel. You came in with Ethan Blackwell. Bella shot to her feet. Is he alive? He's alive, in serious but stable condition. The first blow caused a skull fracture and significant concussion. The second blow caused internal bleeding in his brain. We had to operate to relieve the pressure. Dr. Patel's expression was grave. If you'd arrived even 10 minutes later, the outcome would have been very different. You saved his life. Bella's knees went weak. She grabbed the back of a chair for support. Can I see him? He's in ICU. Family only right now. I'm his... Again that question. What was she? I'm the person who brought him here. Please. Dr. Patel studied her for a long moment. Room 412. But only for a few minutes. He needs rest. The ICU was quiet, dim, filled with the soft beeping of monitors. Bella found room 412 and stopped in the doorway, her breath catching. Ethan lay in the hospital bed, his head wrapped in white bandages. An IV ran into his arm. Machines tracked his heartbeat, his breathing, his brain activity. He looked smaller, somehow vulnerable, in a way she'd never seen. She approached slowly, carefully, like he might break if she moved too fast. When she reached his bedside, she didn't know what to do with her hands, so she gripped the bed rail. Hey, she whispered. It's me, Bella. I don't know if you can hear me, but the doctor said sometimes people can hear even when they're unconscious, so I'm just going to talk and hope some part of you is listening. His chest rose and fell steadily. The monitor beeped its rhythm. You're going to be okay. Dr. Patel said so, and Derek's in custody so he can't hurt you anymore. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry I wasn't there sooner. I'm sorry I let him hit you at all. I'm supposed to protect you and I failed. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. When you wake up, I'll understand if you want to fire me. First day on the job and I let your business partner almost kill you. That's pretty much the worst track record possible for a bodyguard. A bitter laugh escaped. But for what it's worth, I'm glad I was there tonight. I'm glad I could help. You gave me a chance when nobody else would, and I hope saving your life counts as me saying thank you. She stayed there for another 10 minutes just watching him breathe, before a nurse gently told her visiting hours were over. Bella returned to her apartment as dawn was breaking. The city was just waking up, delivery trucks rumbling down streets, early commuters heading to subway stations. She felt disconnected from all of it, like she existed in a different reality than everyone else. Inside her apartment, she stripped off her blood-stained clothes and stood in the shower until the water ran cold. Then she collapsed onto her bed and stared at the ceiling, too wired to sleep despite her exhaustion. Her new phone buzzed, a text from Jennifer, Ethan's assistant. Just heard what happened. Are you okay? Is Ethan okay? Bella typed back with shaking fingers. He's alive, in ICU, stable. Thank God, and thank you. Victoria told me what you did. Running down scaffolding, fighting Derek, carrying Ethan 6 blocks. You're a hero. Hero. The word felt too big, too bright for what she'd done. She'd just reacted. Just moved. Just tried to save someone she cared about. When had that happened? When had Ethan Blackwell become more than just her boss? More than just the billionaire who'd given her a chance? Maybe it was when he'd looked at her on that construction site and seen someone worth investing in. Maybe it was when he had offered her a job, not out of pity, but out of genuine belief in her capabilities. Maybe it was in all the small moments she'd replayed in her mind over the past 3 weeks, moments where he'd treated her like she mattered. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Bella hesitated, remembering the threatening call from yesterday, then answered. Ms. Morrison. A woman's voice, refined, controlled. This is Catherine Blackwell, Ethan's mother. Bella sat up straight. Mrs. Blackwell, I'm so sorry about what happened. Don't apologize, I'm calling to thank you. The hospital informed us that you saved my son's life tonight. My husband and I are flying in from Boston now. We'll be there in 2 hours. I'd like to meet you. Of course. I can come to the hospital? No. Come to the house. Ethan's penthouse on Park Avenue. I'll text you the address. We need to talk. The line went dead. Bella stared at her phone. Ethan's parents wanted to meet her. The morning after she'd saved their son's life. That could be good or very, very bad. She changed into clean clothes, the most professional outfit she owned. Dark jeans, a simple black sweater. Brushed her hair. Looked at herself in the mirror and saw a woman who'd aged 10 years in one night. The address Catherine texted led to a building that made Bella's apartment complex look like a shed. Gleaming glass tower doorman in a uniform that probably cost more than her monthly salary lobby, with marble floors and a chandelier that could kill someone if it fell. Ms. Morrison. The doorman checked his tablet. You're expected, penthouse level. The elevator was all mirrors and soft music. Bella watched her reflection multiply infinitely around her and tried not to think about how out of place she looked. The penthouse door opened before she could knock. A woman stood there, late 50s, still beautiful, wearing clothes that whispered money. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but her posture was perfect, controlled. Bella Morrison. Not a question. I'm Catherine Blackwell. Please come in. The penthouse was like something from a magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park, original artwork on the walls. Furniture that looked like it belonged in a museum. A man stood by the windows, tall gray hair, sharp suit despite the early hour. My husband, Robert Blackwell, Catherine said. Robert turned. His eyes were the same brown as Ethan's, but colder, more assessing. Ms. Morrison, thank you for coming. Of course. Bella remained standing, unsure whether to sit. Catherine gestured to a sofa. Please, sit. Can I get you anything, coffee, water? I'm fine, thank you. They sat across from her, a united front. Bella felt like she was being evaluated, judged, measured against some invisible standard. The police called us this morning, Robert began. Told us what happened. Derek Sullivan attacked our son with intent to kill. You witnessed the attack, intervened, and transported Ethan to the hospital. He paused. The doctor said 10 more minutes, and our son would have died. You saved him. I just did what anyone would do. No. Catherine's voice was firm. What you did was extraordinary. Jumping from a 4th-story building, fighting an armed man carrying an unconscious person 6 blocks. That's not what anyone would do. That's what someone remarkable does. Bella didn't know how to respond, so she stayed quiet. Robert leaned forward. We need to understand something, Ms. Morrison. Our son hired you as his personal security coordinator yesterday, your first official day, and last night you proved the position wasn't just justified, but necessary. You did your job exceptionally well. I'm glad I was there. So are we. Catherine's eyes glistened. When we got the call that Ethan was in ICU, that he'd been attacked, we thought... Her voice broke. We thought we'd lost him. And then they told us you saved him. A woman we've never met saved our only child's life. Mrs. Blackwell, please let me finish. Catherine composed herself. We need to know your intentions toward our son. The question hung in the air like something heavy. My intentions, Bella repeated carefully. You've known Ethan for 3 weeks, Robert said. In that time, he's given you an apartment, a raise, a vehicle, and a high-level position in his company. That's unusual behavior for him. Ethan is generous but cautious. He doesn't typically form attachments quickly. I don't have any intentions beyond doing my job. Really? Catherine tilted her head. Because last night when you were in ICU with my son, a nurse overheard you. You told Ethan you'd understand if he fired you. You apologized for failing to protect him. Those don't sound like the words of someone who's just doing a job. Bella's throat tightened. I care about his well-being. That's part of being a good employee. Or part of being more than an employee, Robert said quietly. I'm not... Bella stopped. Mr. and Mrs. Blackwell, I don't know what you think is happening here, but I promise you I'm not trying to take advantage of your son. He helped me when I was homeless and struggling. He gave me opportunities I'd never dreamed of. I'm grateful, that's all. Gratitude, Catherine repeated. Is that what made you risk your life last night? The question hit like a fist to the stomach because Bella didn't have an answer. Or rather, she had an answer but wasn't ready to admit it even to herself. I saw someone I care about in danger, she said finally. I reacted. That's human nature, not ulterior motives. Robert and Catherine exchanged a look. Some silent communication passed between them. We're protective of our son, Catherine said. He's brilliant, successful, generous to a fault, and that generosity has been exploited before. 3 years ago, a woman he was dating turned out to be after his money. She sold stories to tabloids, tried to extort him, made his life hell for months. Since then, he's been guarded. Until you. I'm not that woman. We hope not. Robert stood walking to the window. But understand our position. You appear in our son's life seemingly out of nowhere. Within weeks, you're living in his apartment building, working in his company, protecting his life. From the outside, it looks calculated. Anger flared hot in Bella's chest. You think I orchestrated Derek attacking Ethan? You think I planned to be homeless, desperate, and willing to sleep on a construction site just so I could coincidentally meet your son? No, Catherine said quickly. We don't think that. But we need to know you're genuine. That when our son inevitably develops feelings for you, he doesn't have feelings for me. Bella, Catherine's smile was sad. He hired you to protect him after knowing you for 3 weeks. He texts Jennifer every day asking how your training is going. He changed his schedule yesterday to personally show you around the office. Our son has feelings for you whether he's admitted them yet or not. Bella stood abruptly. I should go. Ethan needs rest and I'm sure you want to be with him. Wait. Robert turned from the window. We're not trying to drive you away. We're trying to understand. Help us understand. What do you want me to say? That I think your son is remarkable. That he's the first person who ever looked at me and saw something other than a freak. That last night when I thought he might die, something inside me broke. Bella's voice rose. Fine, yes, I care about him, more than I probably should. But that doesn't mean I'm using him or manipulating him or whatever you're worried about. It means I'm human. Silence filled the penthouse. Then Catherine stood and did something Bella didn't expect. She crossed the room and pulled Bella into a hug. Thank you, Catherine whispered. Thank you for saving my son. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for caring about him. When she pulled back, tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry we questioned you. Robert said, his voice rough. We're scared. And when people are scared, they don't always act rationally. I understand. Bella wiped her own eyes. If I had a child, and someone new suddenly appeared in their life, I'd be protective too. Will you come to the hospital with us? Catherine asked. I think Ethan would want you there when he wakes up. They rode to Mount Sinai together in the Blackwell's town car. The driver navigated morning traffic while Robert made phone calls, and Catherine texted friends and family with updates. Derek's being arraigned this afternoon, Robert said, hanging up. My lawyer says they're charging him with attempted murder assault with a deadly weapon and conspiracy. Apparently, he's been embezzling from the company for months. Ethan was getting close to discovering it. That's why Derek tried to kill him. He mentioned something, Bella said. When he was hitting Ethan, He said 10 years I stood in your shadow. Robert's jaw tightened. Derek always resented that Ethan was CEO. They started the company together, but Ethan had the vision, the drive. Derek wanted the credit without the work. At the hospital, Dr. Patel greeted them personally. Mr. Blackwell is awake, groggy and in pain, but conscious. He's been asking for someone named Bella. Catherine looked at Bella. That's you. You should go first, Bella protested. You're his parents. We'll all go, Robert said firmly. Ethan's room looked different in daylight, less scary, more clinical. He was propped up slightly, his eyes half closed, but they opened when the door clicked shut. Mom, Dad. His voice was hoarse, weak. You didn't have to fly out. Our son is in ICU, Catherine said, kissing his forehead gently. Of course we flew out. Then Ethan's gaze found Bella standing by the door. Something shifted in his expression. Relief, gratitude, something deeper. You're here. I'm here. They told me what you did, jumping from the scaffolding, fighting Derek, carrying me 6 blocks. His voice cracked. You saved my life. I was just doing my job. Your first day on the job and you took down an armed attacker and carried an unconscious man 6 blocks. That's above and beyond job requirements. A weak smile. Remind me to give you a raise. Despite everything, Bella laughed. You already give me too much. Not possible. Robert cleared his throat. Son, we should let you rest. But before we go, there's something you should know. We've met Bella. We know what kind of person she is, and we approve. Ethan's eyes widened slightly. Approve? Of whatever this is between you two, Catherine said gently. Or whatever it might become. Mom. Rest now. We'll talk later. Catherine kissed him again. We're so grateful you're alive. After his parents left, Bella moved closer to the bed. How are you really feeling? Like someone hit me in the head with a pipe, twice. He tried to sit up, winced, settled back down. Bella, I need to say something. You need to rest. This is important. He reached for her hand. She let him take it. His grip was weak but warm. Derek could have killed me last night. Almost did. And the only reason I'm alive is because you were there. Not as my employee. Not as someone doing a job. But as someone who cared enough to risk everything. Ethan? Let me finish, please. He took a shaky breath. I hired you because I saw something special in you. Strength, yes. But also heart. Loyalty. Courage. And last night you proved I was right. You're exactly who I thought you were. Tears blurred Bella's vision. You're exactly who I thought you were too. And I'm so glad you're okay. Thanks to you. His thumb brushed across her knuckles. When I get out of here, when this is all over, I want to take you to dinner. Not as your boss, not as someone you work for, as someone who would very much like to get to know you better. Would that be okay? Her heart hammered. That would be more than okay. He smiled, a real smile that reached his eyes despite the pain and exhaustion. Good. Then it's a date. A nurse appeared in the doorway. I'm sorry, but Mr. Blackwell needs rest. You can come back this evening. Bella squeezed Ethan's hand once more before letting go. I'll be back. Promise. I know you will. She walked out of the hospital into bright October sunlight, feeling like the world had shifted on its axis. 3 weeks ago, she'd been homeless, sleeping on a construction site, mocked and rejected. Now, she'd saved a man's life, and that man wanted to take her on a date. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Bella answered cautiously. You made a mistake last night. The voice was distorted, artificial. Derek Sullivan was just the beginning. Stay away from Ethan Blackwell, or next time you'll both die. The line went dead. Bella stood frozen on the sidewalk outside Mount Sinai, phone pressed to her ear, even though the caller had already hung up. Her hands shook. People rushed past her, but she couldn't move, couldn't think past the words echoing in her head. Stay away from Ethan Blackwell, or next time you'll both die. She dialed Detective Chen immediately. "Morrison, what's wrong?" "I just got another threat, third one since yesterday. They said Derek was just the beginning." "Where are you right now?" "Outside the hospital." "Stay there. I'm sending a patrol car. Don't move, don't talk to anyone." 2 officers arrived within minutes. They took her statement, traced the call to another burner phone, promised increased police presence around both her and Ethan. But Bella could see it in their eyes. Burner phones were untraceable. Threatening calls were hard to prosecute. Unless someone actually tried to hurt them again, there wasn't much the police could do. "We'll assign extra security at the hospital," the younger officer said. "And we recommend you vary your routes home. Don't follow predictable patterns." Great. She'd saved Ethan's life, and now they were both targets. Victoria called as Bella was walking back to her apartment, taking a different route like the officer suggested. "Jennifer told me about the threats. I'm pulling you into protective custody." "I don't need protection." "You literally just received a death threat." "Yes, you do." Victoria's voice was sharp. "I'm assigning 2 security personnel to you effective immediately. They'll be outside your apartment in 30 minutes. Victoria. "This isn't a request, Morrison. You're part of Ethan's security team now. That makes you a target, and I don't lose people on my watch." The security team turned out to be 2 ex-military guys named Marcus and Chen. They were professional, polite, and absolutely refused to let Bella go anywhere alone. "Even to the bathroom?" she asked. "We'll wait outside," Marcus said without a hint of humor. The next 3 days were surreal. Ethan remained in the hospital recovering. Bella visited twice daily, always with Marcus and Chen, flanking her like bookends. Robert and Catherine came and went, gradually warming to Bella as they watched her dedication to their son. "You don't have to visit so often," Catherine said on the 3rd day. "You must be exhausted." "I need to know he's okay." "He's more than okay when you're here. Haven't you noticed his vitals improve every time you walk in the room?" Bella had noticed how Ethan's eyes tracked her movements, how his smile appeared the moment he saw her, how he held her hand longer each visit. On the 4th day, Dr. Patel cleared Ethan for discharge with strict instructions for bed rest and follow-up appointments. "You'll need someone staying with you," the doctor said, "at least for the first week. The concussion was severe. You shouldn't be alone." "I'll stay," Catherine volunteered immediately. "Actually," Ethan said, his eyes finding Bella, "I was hoping Bella could stay. She is my personal security coordinator. Makes sense for her to be close." Catherine's eyebrows rose, but she nodded slowly. "If Bella's willing." All eyes turned to Bella. Her heart hammered. Living with Ethan in his penthouse, spending days and nights in close quarters with the man she'd just admitted she had feelings for. "Of course," she heard herself say. "Whatever you need." Moving into Ethan's penthouse felt like stepping into another dimension. Her apartment had been nice. This was obscene. Guest room bigger than her entire previous living space. Bathroom with a tub that could fit 4 people. A closet that echoed when she walked into it. "Is it okay?" Ethan asked from the doorway. He still moved carefully, one hand pressed to his bandaged head. "It's too much." "You saved my life. There's no such thing as too much." He smiled. "Besides, this way I can keep an eye on you. Make sure you're safe from whoever's making those calls. I should be protecting you. We'll protect each other." That first evening was awkward. Bella made dinner while Ethan sat at the kitchen counter pretending not to watch her every move. She burned the chicken. He ate it anyway and said it was delicious. "You're a terrible liar," she said. "I'm an excellent liar. I convinced my board last year that our quarterly losses were actually strategic investments. This chicken is genuinely not that bad." She laughed despite herself. "Next time I'm ordering takeout. Next time we'll cook together." Something warm spread through her chest at the casual way he said it, like there would be many next times. Like this was the beginning of something rather than a temporary arrangement. They watched a movie after dinner. Ethan fell asleep 20 minutes in his head, tilted back against the couch, mouth slightly open. Bella covered him with a blanket and sat watching him breathe, remembering how his breath had been so shallow that night on the construction site. He was alive, safe, here. And she was falling for him. Had probably already fallen. The next morning, Catherine showed up at 8 a.m. with enough food to feed an army. "I know you said you could handle it, but I don't trust either of you to eat properly." She unpacked containers of homemade soup, fresh bread, cut fruit. "How was the first night?" "Quiet," Bella said. "He slept well." "And you, did you sleep?" Bella had spent most of the night sitting in a chair outside Ethan's door, listening for any sound of distress. "Enough." Catherine studied her. "You care deeply for him." It wasn't a question, but Bella answered anyway. "Yes." "Good. Because I need to talk to you about something. Privately." They moved to the kitchen while Ethan showered. Catherine poured them both coffee and sat across from Bella with an expression that made Bella's stomach tighten. "Robert and I have been talking. About you and Ethan. About what's clearly developing between you. Mrs. Blackwell. Please call me Catherine, and let me finish." She wrapped her hands around her mug. "We like you, Bella. We're grateful for what you did. We can see that your feelings for our son are genuine, but we need to be sure." "Sure of what?" "That you're ready for what comes with loving someone like Ethan. The media attention, the scrutiny, people questioning your motives. His ex-girlfriend sold stories to tabloids, called him controlling, claimed he'd manipulated her. None of it was true, but the damage was done. It took years for his reputation to recover. I would never do that. I believe you wouldn't intentionally, but the pressure can change people, make them do things they never thought they'd do." Catherine leaned forward. "I need to know you're strong enough to withstand it. Not just physically strong, but emotionally, mentally. I survived 25 years of being mocked for my body. I survived homelessness. I think I can handle some media attention. Can you handle people saying you seduced a billionaire for his money? That you orchestrated Derek's attack to position yourself as a hero, that you're using Ethan's gratitude to manipulate him?" Each question landed like a punch. People will say that. They already are. There are photos online from the hospital. Someone recognized you and Ethan holding hands. There are already threads speculating about who you are, where you came from, what your angle is. Bella's coffee suddenly tasted bitter. "I didn't ask for any of this." "I know, but it's the reality of Ethan's world. And if you're going to be part of it, you need to be prepared." Catherine's voice softened. "I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm trying to help you understand what you're walking into." "Does Ethan know you're having this conversation with me?" "No, and he'd probably be furious if he did." Catherine smiled slightly. "But I'm his mother. It's my job to protect him, even when he doesn't want protection." Before Bella could respond, Ethan appeared in the doorway wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, his hair still damp. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "Bringing food, making sure you're being taken care of." Catherine stood, kissed his cheek. "I should go. Your father wants to discuss the Derek situation with our lawyers." After Catherine left, Ethan poured himself coffee and sat where his mother had been. What was she really saying to you? Just checking on things. Bella. He reached across the table, took her hand. My mother doesn't just check on things. She interrogates, evaluates, tests. What did she say? Bella met his eyes. She warned me about what comes with being close to you. Media attention. People questioning my motives. She wanted to make sure I'm strong enough to handle it. Anger flashed across Ethan's face. She had no right. She had every right. She's your mother. She's protecting you. I don't need protection from you. Maybe not, but she doesn't know that yet. She doesn't really know me. None of them do. I'm just the woman who showed up 3 weeks ago and suddenly became important to you. Of course they're cautious. You're more than important to me. The words hung between them, heavy with meaning. Ethan. I know this is fast. I know it's probably crazy. But when Derek was hitting me when I thought I was going to die, the only thing I could think about was you. Not my company, not my money, not my legacy. You. His grip on her hand tightened. And then you saved me, and I realized that maybe this isn't crazy. Maybe it's just right. Bella's throat closed. I don't know what to say. Say you'll give this a chance. Give us a chance, whatever this is. Your mother thinks people will say I'm using you. Let them say it. I know the truth. Do you? How can you be sure I'm not exactly what everyone's worried about? Some opportunist who saw a billionaire and decided to play the long game. Because I see how you look at me when you think I'm not watching. I see how your hands shake when you touch me. I see how you sat outside my hospital room for 3 days straight, barely eating or sleeping. That's not calculation, Bella. That's caring, and I trust it. She wanted to believe him, wanted to believe that what they felt was real and strong enough to survive whatever came next. But doubt whispered in the back of her mind. I need time to think. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. That afternoon, Robert showed up unannounced. Bella was helping Ethan with his physical therapy exercises when the doorbell rang. I'll get it, she said, heading for the door. Robert stood in the hallway holding a briefcase, his expression unreadable. Mr. Blackwell. Bella, is my son available? He's resting. Physical therapy wore him out. Good, then we can talk. You and I. Bella's stomach dropped, but she stepped aside. Come in. They sat in Ethan's study. Robert placed his briefcase on the desk between them and studied her for a long moment. My wife told you about the media attention, the scrutiny, the questions about your motives. Yes. But she didn't tell you everything. Robert opened the briefcase and pulled out a folder. These are the results of the background check our security team ran on you. Bella's hands clenched. You investigated me. Of course. You're living with my son. I'd be a fool not to. He slid the folder across the desk. It's all there. Your childhood in Tennessee, your family's financial struggles, your move to New York, the 8 months you spent homeless, the construction job, everything. If you already know everything, why are we having this conversation? Because I want to hear it from you. Not some report. You. Tell me why you left Tennessee. Tell me what you're running from. I'm not running from anything. Everyone's running from something. Bella stood abruptly. You want to know why I left, because every single day of my life people looked at me like I was a freak. Like my body was something wrong, something to mock, something that made me less than human. My own grandmother called me unnatural. Boys in my town made bets about who'd be brave enough to date the muscle girl. I spent 25 years being told I didn't deserve love because I didn't look like what women are supposed to look like. Her voice shook with years of buried pain. So yes, I ran. I ran because staying meant accepting that I'd never be more than the town joke. I ran because I wanted to find a place where I could just exist without apologizing for who I am. And I ended up homeless and desperate and sleeping on a construction site because even running away doesn't guarantee you'll find somewhere to belong. Robert's expression hadn't changed. And then my son found you. And then your son saw me, actually saw me, not my muscles, not my strength, me, the person underneath. Tears burned her eyes. So if you're here to offer me money to leave, if you're here to tell me I'm not good enough for him, save your breath. I already know I'm not good enough. I've known it my whole life. But Ethan makes me feel like maybe I could be. And I'm not ready to give that up yet. Silence filled the study. Then Robert closed the folder and put it back in his briefcase. I'm not here to pay you off, Bella. I'm here to test you. Test me how? My wife tested your emotional strength. She wanted to see if you'd run when faced with scrutiny. You didn't. So now I'm testing something different. He pulled an envelope from his briefcase. This contains a check for $5 million. It's yours if you walk away from my son right now. Leave this penthouse, leave the city, start over somewhere far away where Ethan can't find you. Bella stared at the envelope like it was a snake. You're bribing me. I'm giving you an option. Take the money and disappear, or stay and prove that what you feel for Ethan is worth more than financial security. This is insane. This is necessary, because if you take this money, I'll know you're not who I hoped you were, and if you don't take it, I'll know my son chose well. I'm not taking your money. Are you sure $5 million is life-changing money? You'd never have to work again, never have to struggle, never have to wonder where your next meal is coming from. Bella's hands shook with rage. You think money is what I want from him? You think I saved his life because I was hoping for a payout? I think you're human, and humans can be tempted. Not me, not by this. She stood. Keep your money, Mr. Blackwell. I don't want it. I never wanted it. What I want is your son. And if you can't accept that, if you can't trust that I care about him for who he is rather than what he has, then that's your problem, not mine. Good answer. Robert stood, tucking the envelope back into his briefcase. You passed. What? The money test. You passed, just like you passed Catherine's emotional strength test. He extended his hand. Welcome to the family, Bella, for whatever that's worth. She didn't take his hand. That was cruel. That was necessary. Our son has been hurt before by people who pretended to care. We needed to know you're different. So you test me like I'm some kind of science experiment. We test everyone who gets close to Ethan. It's not personal. It feels pretty damn personal. Bella crossed her arms. Is there going to be a third test? A fourth? How many hoops do I have to jump through before you believe I'm genuine? Just one more? Robert's expression softened slightly. And this one's from Ethan himself. He doesn't know we've been testing you. And when he finds out, he's going to be angry. How you handle that anger, how you handle knowing that his parents manipulated you, that will be your final test. Before Bella could respond, Ethan's voice called from the living room. Bella, is someone here? Robert picked up his briefcase. That's my cue to leave. Don't tell him yet. Let him rest. But you'll need to tell him eventually. And when you do, remember this, our son has a lot of money, but what he values most is honesty. Don't betray that. After Robert left, Bella returned to find Ethan sitting up on the couch looking concerned. Who was at the door? Your father. He wanted to check on you. He couldn't have just called. Ethan patted the couch beside him. Come here. You look upset. She sat but kept distance between them. Just tired. You're a terrible liar, too. He reached for her hand. What did my father say to you? Nothing important. Bella. She looked at their joined hands and made a decision. If Ethan valued honesty, then she needed to be honest. He offered me $5 million to leave you. Ethan went very still. He what? It was a test. He said if I took the money, he'd know I wasn't genuine. If I didn't, he'd know you chose well. She met his eyes. I didn't take it, obviously. But I'm telling you now because you deserve to know. Your parents have been testing me since I moved in here. Your mother warned me about media scrutiny to see if I'd run. Your father offered me money to see if I'd take it. And apparently there's a final test coming about how I handle you finding out they've been manipulating me. Ethan's jaw clenched. I'm going to kill them. Don't. They're just protecting you. By treating you like a gold digger, by manipulating you. That's not protection, Bella. That's insulting. They don't know me yet. And given your past with your ex, I understand why they're cautious. That doesn't make it okay. He pulled out his phone. I'm calling them right now. Ethan, wait. No, they crossed a line, multiple lines, and they need to know that. He stood wincing slightly from the movement and paced while his phone rang. Son. Robert's voice came through on speaker. Dad, Mom, you're both there. Yes, Catherine said. Is something wrong? What's wrong is that you've been testing Bella behind my back, offering her money, warning her about media attention, treating her like she's some kind of threat. Silence on the other end. Ethan, Catherine began. No, let me finish. I hired Bella because I saw something exceptional in her. I'm falling for her because she's genuine and brave and doesn't want anything from me except to be seen for who she is. And you two have been systematically trying to break her down to see if she'll crack. That stops now." "We were protecting you," Robert said quietly, "by hurting someone I care about. That's not protection. That's cruelty." Ethan's voice shook. "Bella told me everything because she values honesty. Because she didn't want to keep secrets from me. That's who she is. And if you can't see that, if you can't trust my judgment, then maybe you need to take a step back from my life." "Son, please." "I mean it, Dad. Apologize to Bella right now or don't come back to this penthouse." Another long silence. Then Catherine's voice, thick with emotion. "Bella, I'm sorry. Truly. We were wrong to test you. Wrong to treat you like you needed to prove yourself. You saved our son's life. You've been nothing but honest and dedicated. And we repaid that with manipulation. I'm deeply ashamed." "I'm sorry too," Robert added. "You're right, son. We overstepped. Bella, if you can forgive us, we'd like to start over. No more tests. No more manipulation. Just us getting to know you properly." Bella looked at Ethan. He was breathing hard, his face flushed with anger on her behalf, and something inside her chest cracked open. "I forgive you," she said. "I understand why you did it, and I don't blame you for protecting your son. But Ethan's right. It stops now." "It stops now," Catherine agreed. "We promise." After the call ended, Ethan sank back onto the couch, pressing his hand to his head. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry they put you through that." "You have nothing to apologize for. They're my parents. Their actions reflect on me." "No, they don't. You stood up for me. That's what matters." She moved closer, taking his face in her hands. "You defended me without hesitation. Do you know how that feels? To have someone fight for me instead of expecting me to always fight for myself?" His eyes searched hers. "You deserve someone who always fights for you." "I'm starting to believe that." He kissed her then. Gentle at first, careful of his injuries, but deepening when she responded. His hands tangled in her hair, and she pressed closer, feeling his heartbeat against her chest. When they pulled apart, both breathing hard, Ethan rested his forehead against hers. "I love you," he whispered. "I know it's too soon. I know it's probably crazy. But I do. I love you." Tears spilled down Bella's cheeks. "I love you too. I've been trying not to because it felt too fast, too impossible, but I do. I love you." They held each other as afternoon light spilled through the windows. Two people from completely different worlds who'd found each other in the most unlikely way. And despite the threats, despite the tests, despite everything working against them, they'd chosen each other. Bella's phone buzzed. She pulled it out reluctantly, saw an unknown number almost declined. But something made her answer. "You think you've won?" The distorted voice from before. "You think passing their little tests means you belong in his world. But you don't. And soon everyone will see what you really are. A fraud. A opportunist. A freak who doesn't deserve him." Who is this? Someone who knows the truth. Someone who's going to make sure Ethan sees it too. Watch your back, Bella Morrison. This isn't over. The line went dead. Ethan saw her face. "What is it?" "Another threat. Different than before. This one knew about your parents' tests. They said they're going to expose me as a fraud." "That's impossible. No one knew about the tests except my parents." "Then someone close to your parents is feeding information to whoever's threatening us." Bella stood pacing. "This isn't just about Derek anymore. This is bigger." Ethan pulled out his phone. "I'm calling Victoria and Detective Chen. If someone close to my family is involved, we need to know who." But as he made the calls, as Victoria promised to investigate, as Chen assured them they'd increase protection, Bella couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something obvious, something dangerous. Someone wanted her away from Ethan badly enough to threaten both their lives. Someone had access to private family information. Someone was willing to do whatever it took to destroy what they'd found together. and Bella had no idea who. Victoria arrived at the penthouse within 20 minutes, her face tight with controlled fury. She set up her laptop on Ethan's dining table and pulled up security footage, phone records, financial transactions. "Someone leaked information about the tests," she said without preamble. "Only 5 people knew about them, you Bella, your parents and Jennifer." "Jennifer wouldn't," Ethan said immediately. "Everyone's a suspect until proven otherwise." Victoria typed rapidly. "I'm pulling communication records for the last 72 hours. Any unusual contacts, any encrypted messages, anything that doesn't fit normal patterns." Bella watched over Victoria's shoulder as data flooded the screen. Phone logs, email timestamps, text message, metadata. It looked like gibberish to her, but Victoria's eyes tracked every line with laser focus. "There," Victoria pointed. "Jennifer sent an encrypted message 2 hours ago. Recipient unknown." "That doesn't mean anything," Ethan protested. "She handles confidential company information all the time." "To company servers, yes. This went to a private network." Victoria pulled up more data. "And 3 days ago, she accessed your personal calendar. Looked at entries dating back a month. Why would she need to see old appointments? Maybe she was preparing a report. Or maybe she was tracking when you met Bella, when you started showing interest." Victoria's expression was grim. "I hate being right about this, but Jennifer fits the profile. Access to your schedule, your family, your private life. She could easily have passed information to whoever's behind these threats." Bella's stomach churned. "Jennifer was nice to me. She welcomed me when Victoria was hostile. She said she was glad Ethan hired me." "Classic manipulation," Victoria said. "Gain your trust, make herself seem like an ally, all while feeding information to someone else." "But why?" Ethan stood, started pacing. "Jennifer's been with me for 3 years. She's loyal, dedicated. What possible reason would she have to betray me?" Victoria pulled up another file. Financial records. "She's been having money problems. Her mother's medical bills, student loans, credit card debt. She's drowning financially. I would have helped her. All she had to do was ask." "People don't always ask. Sometimes they just take." Victoria closed her laptop. "I'm bringing her in for questioning, with your permission." "Do it." Ethan's voice was cold. "If she's behind this, I want to know." After Victoria left, Bella and Ethan sat in heavy silence. The penthouse felt suddenly less safe, less like a sanctuary. If Jennifer had betrayed them, who else might? "I should have seen it," Ethan said finally. "Should have noticed something was off." "You can't blame yourself for trusting someone." "I can when that trust puts you in danger." He reached for her hand. "These threats started after you came into my life. Someone wants you gone badly enough to risk everything. And I need to know why." Bella's phone rang. Detective Chen. "Morrison, we've got a development. Derek Sullivan made bail 2 hours ago." "What? How is that possible? He tried to murder someone." His lawyer argued he was a first-time offender, no prior record, strong ties to the community. Judge granted bail at $2 million. His family posted it immediately. "So he's just out there free? With an ankle monitor and strict orders not to contact you or Ethan. But yes, he's out. I'm notifying you as a courtesy. Keep your security close." After hanging up, Bella told Ethan. His face went white. "Derek's out. The man who tried to kill me is walking around free. He has an ankle monitor. He can't come near us." "You really think a piece of plastic is going to stop him if he wants revenge?" Ethan stood abruptly. "We need to leave. Go somewhere Derek can't find us. Somewhere safe." "Running isn't the answer. Staying here while a killer walks free isn't smart either." He pulled out his phone. "I'm calling my parents. They have a house in the Hamptons. Private, secure, gated community. We can stay there until this is resolved." Before Bella could argue, Catherine answered. "Mom, Derek made bail. I need to use the Hamptons house." "Of course. When?" "Tonight. As soon as possible." He glanced at Bella. "And I'm bringing Bella. No arguments." I wouldn't dream of arguing. Let me call ahead, make sure the house is ready. You'll be safe there, son, I promise. They packed quickly. Bella threw clothes into a bag, grabbed her phone and charger, tried not to think about how her life had become running from threats and hiding in billionaire vacation homes. 2 weeks ago, she'd been sleeping on a construction site. Now she was fleeing to the Hamptons with the man she loved while his attempted murderer walked free. Marcus and Chen drove them, Victoria following in a separate car. The drive took 3 hours through increasing darkness. Bella watched city lights fade into suburban sprawl, into rural highways lined with trees. "You're quiet," Ethan said beside her, processing. "Talk to me. What are you thinking?" She turned to face him. "I'm thinking that meeting you changed everything. My entire life got flipped upside down. And I don't know if that's good or terrifying or both." "Both," he said. "Definitely both. But Bella, whatever happens, whatever we're facing, we face it together, okay?" "Okay." The Hamptons house was massive, sprawling right on the beach. Marcus did a security sweep while Victoria checked all entry points. Chen positioned himself at the front gate. Everything was locked down, secured safe. But Bella couldn't shake the feeling that safety was an illusion. That night she lay in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, listening to waves crash against the shore. Every sound made her tense. Every creak of the house settling made her reach for her phone. Around midnight, a soft knock at her door. "Bella, you awake?" She opened the door to find Ethan in sweatpants and a t-shirt, his hair messy from sleep. "Can't rest either?" he asked. "Too much going on in my head." "Same. Want company?" They ended up in the kitchen making hot chocolate, a surprisingly domestic moment in the middle of chaos. Ethan moved carefully, still healing, but his smile was genuine when she handed him a mug. "My mom used to make this when I couldn't sleep," he said. "She'd add extra marshmallows, and we'd sit in the kitchen talking until I calmed down enough to try again." "What did you talk about?" "Everything. Nothing. Whatever was bothering me." He took a sip. "Usually it was pressure. Pressure to be perfect, to live up to the Blackwell name, to never make mistakes. She'd remind me that being human meant making mistakes, that failure was how we learned." "Sounds like a good mom." "She is. Even when she's testing my girlfriend to make sure she's not a gold digger." He smiled ruefully. "Sorry about that again." "Stop apologizing. They're protective. I get it. Still wasn't fair to you." He set down his mug, moved closer. "Bella, I need you to know something. Whatever happens, whoever's behind these threats, you're not facing it alone. I'm here. My family's here. We protect our own. I'm not really your own, though. We've known each other 3 weeks. Time doesn't define connection. You saved my life. I love you. That makes you mine." He cupped her face gently. "And I'm yours, if you'll have me." She kissed him, then hot chocolate, forgotten months of loneliness and pain melting away in the warmth of his arms. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Ethan rested his forehead against hers. "Stay with me tonight," he whispered. "Not in the guest room. In my room. I just want to hold you. Make sure you're safe." "Okay." They fell asleep, tangled together. Bella's head on Ethan's chest, his arms wrapped around her. For the first time in days, she felt almost peaceful, almost safe. The next morning, Victoria woke them with urgent knocking. "We have a problem. Jennifer's gone." They gathered in the kitchen. Victoria pulled up surveillance footage on her tablet. Jennifer left her apartment at 3 a.m. this morning, took a packed bag, her laptop, and disappeared. Her phone's off. Credit cards aren't being used. She's completely off-grid. "So she ran," Ethan said. "That basically confirms she's involved. It confirms she's scared, which means whoever she's working for is dangerous enough that she'd rather disappear than face consequences." Victoria swiped to another screen. "But here's the interesting part. Before she went dark, she sent one final encrypted message. And this time, I managed to trace the recipient. She turned the tablet around. On the screen was a photo of a woman in her early 40s, professional, polished, vaguely familiar. Rebecca Thornton, Victoria said. She's a corporate consultant, specializes in hostile takeovers and company acquisitions. And 6 months ago, she started working with a venture capital firm that's been trying to buy Blackwell Energy Solutions. Ethan's face went pale. The Meridian Group. You know them. They've been harassing me for over a year, making offers, sending representatives trying to convince me to sell. I've refused every time. They're ruthless, aggressive, willing to do anything to get what they want. He looked at Bella. But why come after you? You have nothing to do with my company. Don't I? Bella's mind raced. Think about it. They couldn't convince you to sell through normal channels, so they escalate. Derek attacks you makes it look like a robbery gone wrong. When I save you, they realize they have a new angle. What angle? Me. I'm your weakness now. They threaten me, make you think I'm in danger, make you doubt everyone around you. Destabilize your life until selling the company seems like the only way to make it stop. Victoria's eyes widened. She's right. Classic psychological warfare. They're not trying to kill you, Ethan. They're trying to break you. Make you desperate enough to give them what they want. But Derek really tried to kill me. That wasn't fake. Derek was embezzling. He had his own reasons. The Meridian Group probably just took advantage of the situation, used it to escalate their own agenda. Victoria pulled up more files. And Jennifer was their inside source. She fed them information about your schedule, your security, your relationship with Bella. Everything they needed to orchestrate this campaign. Ethan stood, started pacing. So what do? We can't prove any of this. It's all speculation. We get proof, Victoria said. Rebecca Thornton is the key. If we can connect her directly to the threats to Jennifer, we've got them. How do we do that? A slow smile crossed Victoria's face. We make her think she's winning, set a trap. The plan was risky, dangerous. Bella hated it immediately. You want to use me as bait. Not exactly, Victoria said. We want to use your relationship with Ethan as bait. Rebecca thinks she's destabilizing him. We let her believe she's succeeding. Ethan makes a public statement that he's considering offers for the company. That the threats have made him realize his life is more valuable than his business. Rebecca will reach out thinking she's got him. When she does, we record everything. What if it doesn't work? Then we're back where we started. But if it does work, we end this. No more threats, no more running, no more looking over your shoulders. Ethan looked at Bella. What do you think? She thought it was terrifying, thought it could backfire spectacularly, thought someone could get hurt. But she also thought about living in fear for the rest of their lives, always waiting for the next threat, the next attack. I think we do it. 2 days later, Ethan released a statement through his publicist. A carefully worded announcement that personal circumstances had led him to reconsider his company's future, that he was open to discussing acquisition offers with serious buyers, that his priority was now his personal safety and the safety of those he loved. The media exploded. Business blogs speculated about what had changed. Competitors circled like sharks smelling blood. And 24 hours after the announcement, Ethan received a call from Rebecca Thornton. Mr. Blackwell, I was so pleased to see your statement. The Meridian Group would love to discuss acquisition terms. Are you available for a meeting? How about tomorrow? My place in the Hamptons. Private discreet. Perfect. I'll be there at 2 p.m. After hanging up, Ethan looked at Victoria. She took the bait. Now we see if she incriminates herself. Victoria began setting up recording equipment throughout the house. Hidden cameras, audio devices, everything they needed to capture whatever Rebecca said. Bella spent the next 24 hours feeling like she might throw up. This was really happening. Tomorrow, they'd either end this nightmare or make it infinitely worse. You don't have to be here, Ethan said the night before the meeting. You could stay upstairs, stay safe. I'm your security coordinator. My place is beside you. You're also the woman I love. My place is protecting you. Then we protect each other. She took his hand. We do this together or not at all. The next afternoon, Rebecca Thornton arrived exactly on time. She was polished professional, carrying a leather briefcase and wearing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Mr. Blackwell, thank you for meeting with me. And you must be Bella Morrison. I've heard so much about you. The way she said it made Bella's skin crawl. They sat in the living room. Rebecca pulled out contracts, projections, offers. Everything was professional, by the book, perfectly legal. Until Ethan pushed. I have to ask Ms. Thornton. Why now? Your firm has been trying to acquire my company for over a year. Why is this suddenly the right time? Markets change, opportunities shift. We believe now is the optimal moment for both parties. Or maybe you created the optimal moment. Ethan's voice was cold. Funny how these threats started right when your offers became more aggressive. Funny how my assistant, who had access to all my private information, suddenly disappeared right before I made this statement. Rebecca's smile froze. I'm not sure what you're implying. I'm implying that your firm has been orchestrating a campaign of psychological warfare against me, using threats, manipulation, and insider information to pressure me into selling. That's a serious accusation. Do you have proof? Do you really want me to answer that question? Ethan leaned forward. Because I have recordings of Jennifer's calls to your personal line. I have encrypted messages between her and your firm. I have financial records showing payments from Meridian Group accounts to Jennifer's offshore bank account. And I have testimony from Derek Sullivan, who's currently negotiating a plea deal by offering information about who paid him to escalate his attack on me. Rebecca's face went white. Derek's testimony wouldn't be credible. He's a criminal. Maybe. But combined with everything else, I think it paints a pretty clear picture. Ethan stood. You tried to break me, tried to make me so desperate, so afraid that I'd give you what you wanted. But you underestimated something. What's that? You underestimated her. He gestured to Bella. You thought threatening her would make me weak. Instead, it made me stronger. Because I'm not fighting for a company anymore. I'm fighting for the woman I love, and I will never stop fighting. Rebecca stood abruptly. I came here in good faith to make a legitimate business offer. These conspiracy theories are insulting. Then explain this. Victoria stepped out from the kitchen holding a tablet. 45 minutes ago we arrested Jennifer. She's been very cooperative, told us everything about how you recruited her, how much you paid her, how you coached her on what information to gather. She even gave us the burner phones you used for the threatening calls. You're lying. Am I? Victoria hit play on the tablet. Jennifer's voice filled the room, tearful, confessing everything. How Rebecca had approached her months ago. How the money had been too tempting. How she'd fed information thinking it was just corporate espionage until the threats started, and she realized how deep she was. Rebecca's briefcase fell from her hand. You can't prove I made those calls. Actually, we can. Voice analysis matches. And Jennifer recorded your last 3 conversations as insurance. Smart girl. Victoria pulled out handcuffs. Rebecca Thornton, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit extortion, criminal threatening, and obstruction of justice. You have the right to remain silent. As Victoria read her rights, Rebecca's perfect composure shattered. She screamed about lawyers, about false accusations, about how Ethan would regret this. But her voice faded as police officers arrived to take her into custody. After she was gone, Bella sank onto the couch, shaking. It's over, Ethan said, sitting beside her. It's really over. Jennifer betrayed us for money. Rebecca tried to destroy your life for a business deal. Derek tried to kill you for jealousy. Bella's voice trembled. How do you trust anyone after this? I trust you. He took her hand. I trust my family. I trust Victoria. And I trust that most people are good even when a few turn out not to be. Detective Chen arrived an hour later to take statements. He congratulated them on the successful operation, confirmed that both Rebecca and Jennifer would be facing serious charges, and told them Derek had indeed taken a plea deal in exchange for testimony against Rebecca. "You'll need to testify at trial," Chen said. "Both of you. But with the evidence we have, this should be straightforward. They'll all be convicted." After Chen left, Robert and Catherine called. "We heard," Catherine said. "We're so proud of you both, so relieved this is over." "Thank you for letting us use the house," Ethan said. "And for trusting Bella." "We were wrong to test her," Robert added. "She's proven herself 100 times over. You both have." That evening, Bella and Ethan walked along the beach. The sun was setting, painting the sky in oranges and purples. Waves crashed gently against the shore. "What happens now?" Bella asked. "We go back to normal." "What's normal for us? We've never had normal." Ethan stopped walking, turned to face her. "But I know what I want our future to look like." "What's that?" "You and me, together, building something real. Not hiding, not running, not looking over our shoulders." He pulled a small box from his pocket. "I know it's fast. I know people will say it's too soon. But when you know, and I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you." He opened the box. Inside was a ring, simple and elegant, a single diamond, catching the dying light. "Bella Morrison, will you marry me?" Her heart stopped, started again. Tears blurred her vision. "Yes, God, yes." He slid the ring onto her finger and kissed her as the sun set behind them. Two people who'd found each other in the most unlikely circumstances, who'd survived threats and betrayal and tests, who'd chosen each other against all odds. They stayed at the beach until stars appeared overhead, until the cold drove them back inside, until reality began to settle in that they were engaged, committed, planning a future together. "Your parents are going to have opinions," Bella said later as they lay in bed. "Let them have opinions. This is our life. The media is going to go crazy. Let them. As long as I have you, I don't care what anyone says." She curled against him, feeling his heartbeat steady beneath her cheek. "I love you. I love you too, always." They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, the ring on Bella's finger catching moonlight through the window. Tomorrow, they'd face more questions, more scrutiny, more challenges. But tonight, they had peace. Tonight, they had each other. And that was enough. The engagement announcement hit social media like a bomb. Within hours, Bella's photo was everywhere. Tabloids dug up her past, interviewed people from Hickory Hollow, published articles with headlines like "From Homeless to Heiress, the Cinderella Story of Bella Morrison," and "Billionaire's Bodyguard Becomes His Bride." "Don't read the comments," Ethan warned, but Bella couldn't help herself. Some were supportive. "This is beautiful. He saw her worth when no one else did." Others were vicious. "Gold digger alert. She orchestrated this whole thing. Look at those arms. She could probably bench press him. What kind of man wants that?" The old wounds reopened. All those years of being called unnatural, unfeminine wrong came flooding back. "Hey." Ethan took the phone from her hands. "Those people don't know you. They don't know us. They're just strangers throwing opinions into the void. They're saying I trapped you, that I'm using you. Let them say it. I know the truth. My family knows the truth. That's what matters." But 2 days later, Catherine called with news that made everything harder. There's a reporter digging into Bella's background. Amanda Pierce from the New York Times. She's contacted several people in Tennessee, asking questions about Bella's childhood, her family's finances, why she really left. "What's she trying to find?" Bella asked. "Anything she can spin into a story. My publicist says she's building a narrative that you targeted Ethan deliberately, that you knew he owned that construction site, positioned yourself there, played the struggling woman card to gain sympathy." "That's insane. I had no idea who owned the site when I started working there." "We know that, but Amanda's good at making speculation sound like fact. And she's got sources willing to talk. What kind of sources? Catherine hesitated. Your grandmother, your aunt, several people from your hometown who remember you as the strange girl with muscles. They're not painting a kind picture. Bella's stomach turned. Her own family was selling stories about her to reporters. I need to talk to them. Bella, that might not be wise. They're my family. If they have something to say, they should say it to me first. That afternoon, Bella called her grandmother for the first time in 8 months. Bella, that really you? It's me, Grandma. Saw you on the news. You're marrying that billionaire. Her grandmother's voice was sharp disapproving. Didn't waste any time, did you? What's that supposed to mean? Means you left here claiming you wanted independence, wanted to make your own way. Next thing we know, you're engaged to the richest man in New York. Seems convenient. I love him, Grandma. Love is money. Because that reporter lady asked me if you ever talked about marrying rich, and I had to be honest. You used to say you'd never find a husband looking like you do. Guess you found a way around that problem. The words cut deeper than any online comment. You told a reporter I was desperate to get married. I told her the truth. That you were always different, always difficult, always angry about how people treated you. Maybe you saw this man as your ticket out. He's not a ticket, he's a person I care about deeply. Then why'd you move so fast? Known him, what, a month? That's not love, Bella. That's desperation, dressed up pretty. Bella hung up before she said something she'd regret. Her hands shook with rage and hurt. Her own grandmother had sold her out for what, a chance to be quoted in a major newspaper, revenge for Bella leaving Tennessee. Ethan found her crying in their bedroom. She called me desperate, said I was using you. My own grandmother thinks I'm a gold digger. He pulled her into his arms. Your grandmother is wrong, and cruel, and she doesn't deserve your tears. But what if everyone thinks that? What if your business partners, your friends, everyone in your world believes I'm just some opportunist who got lucky? Then they're not worth knowing. He tilted her chin up. Bella, listen to me. I don't care what anyone thinks. I know who you are. I know your heart. That's enough. Is it because right now it feels like the whole world is against us? Not the whole world. My parents believe in you. Victoria respects you. Tommy from the construction site sent you flowers with a note saying, "Congratulations to the best worker I ever met." Marcus and Chen think you're a badass. You've got people on your side. She wiped her eyes. Why does this have to be so hard? Because anything worth having is hard, and you, Bella Morrison, are worth every bit of difficulty. 2 days later, Amanda Pierce's article published. The headline made Bella's blood run cold. The calculated rise of Bella Morrison, how a homeless woman orchestrated her way into a billionaire's life. The article was devastating. It quoted her grandmother, her aunt, former classmates who claimed Bella had always been manipulative and aggressive. It suggested she'd researched Ethan before taking the construction job, that she'd deliberately positioned herself to save his life, that the entire relationship was a carefully executed plan. None of this is true, Bella said, reading through tears. None of it. Robert called immediately. We're suing for defamation. This is libel, pure and simple. Amanda Pierce crossed every ethical line. But the damage is done. Everyone's going to believe it. Not everyone, and we'll fight back. I promise you, Bella, we will fight back. The next week was hell. More articles appeared, each one building on Amanda's narrative. Social media exploded with opinions. Strangers debated Bella's motives, her character, her worthiness. Someone created a hashtag, #FakeCinderella. It trended for 3 days. Bella stopped leaving the penthouse, stopped checking her phone, stopped reading anything online. She felt like she was suffocating under the weight of everyone's judgment. Maybe we should postpone the wedding, she said one night. Absolutely not. Ethan, this scrutiny isn't going away. If anything, a wedding will make it worse. Maybe we wait until things calm down. Things will never calm down. That's the reality of my life. But I'm not letting strangers dictate when I marry the woman I love. He took her hands. Unless you want to postpone. If you need more time, if this is too much, I'll understand. She looked at his face, saw the love and determination there, and made her decision. No. I want to marry you. Let everyone else think what they want. They set the date for 4 weeks out. Small ceremony, immediate family only at the Blackwell estate in Connecticut. Catherine helped plan everything, while Bella tried to ignore the media circus swirling around them. I found you the perfect dress, Catherine said one afternoon, showing Bella photos. Simple, elegant, shows your strength without apology. Bella stared at the images. The dress was beautiful, fitted, but not restrictive, showing her muscular arms and shoulders instead of hiding them. You don't think it's too much? Me showing my arms like this? I think you should show exactly who you are. Your strength is beautiful, Bella. Never let anyone make you feel otherwise. The words made her cry. Again. She seemed to cry a lot these days, overwhelmed by everything. I'm sorry. I'm such a mess. You're human. You're under enormous pressure. You're allowed to be a mess. Catherine hugged her. But you're also strong enough to get through this. I believe in you. 1 week before the wedding, Bella's mother called. Baby, I saw the articles. I saw what your grandmother said. I'm so sorry. You didn't say anything to reporters. Of course not. You're my daughter. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Her mother's voice cracked. I should have stood up for you more when you were growing up. Should have fought harder against people who made you feel less than. I failed you. Mama, no. Let me finish. I failed you then. But I won't fail you now. I'm coming to your wedding. And I'm bringing your daddy. We're going to stand beside you and show everyone that your family supports you. The family that matters. Bella sobbed into the phone. Thank you. Thank you. You don't thank me for being your mother. That's my job. That's my honor. The week before the wedding, Tommy showed up at the penthouse unannounced. How'd you get past security? Bella asked, surprised. Told them I was your brother. Figured you could use family right about now. He grinned. Besides, I've got something for you. He handed her an envelope. Inside were letters. Dozens of them. From construction workers she'd worked with, from people she'd helped, from strangers who'd read the articles and wanted to share their support. We started a petition, Tommy said, calling out Amanda Pierce for unethical journalism. Got 50,000 signatures so far. People believe in you, Bella. More than you know. She read through the letters with tears streaming down her face. Complete strangers defending her character, sharing their own stories of being judged for not fitting society's molds, thanking her for showing that strength comes in many forms. I don't know what to say. Say you're going to marry that billionaire and live happily ever after, because you deserve it. The night before the wedding, Bella couldn't sleep. She stood in the penthouse looking out at the city lights, thinking about how much her life had changed in 6 weeks. From homeless to engaged. From invisible to infamous. From broken to healing. Second thoughts. Ethan appeared beside her. No, just processing. Good, because I'd hate to cancel the caterer. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. Tomorrow we're getting married, and the day after that we start our real life together. No more drama, no more threats, just us. You think it'll really be that simple? No, but I think we're strong enough to handle complicated. She turned in his arms. I love you. Even when it's hard, even when the whole world is watching, even when I'm scared. Especially when you're scared. That's when love matters most. They stood like that for a long time, holding each other, gathering strength for tomorrow. The wedding day dawned clear and cold. November in Connecticut meant bare trees and frost on the grass. But inside the Blackwell estate, everything was warm and glowing. Bella got ready in a guest room with her mother beside her, and Catherine fussing over details. You look beautiful, her mother whispered. Like yourself, but somehow more. The dress fit perfectly. Her hair was simple, down around her shoulders. No heavy makeup, just enough to enhance. She looked in the mirror, and for the first time in her life, she liked what she saw. Strong, feminine, herself. "Ready?" Catherine asked. "Ready." Walking down the aisle on her father's arm, Bella saw familiar faces. Robert and Catherine in the front row smiling. Victoria in the back still scanning for threats even at a wedding. Marcus and Chen flanking the doors. Tommy grinning widely. And at the altar, Ethan in a dark suit, his eyes filling with tears the moment he saw her. Her father kissed her cheek and placed her hand in Ethan's. "Take care of my girl," he said. "With everything I have," Ethan promised. The ceremony was simple. Traditional vows exchanged, rings placed, two lives joined. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," Ethan cupped Bella's face and kissed her like she was the most precious thing in the world. "I love you," he whispered against her lips. "I love you too. Always." The reception was small but joyful. Good food, good wine, people who genuinely cared about them. Bella's mother cried through the toasts. Catherine welcomed Bella officially into the family. Robert told embarrassing stories about Ethan's childhood. Tommy made everyone laugh with tales from the construction site. And then Ethan pulled Bella onto the dance floor. "I don't really know how to dance," she admitted. "Neither do I. We'll figure it out together." They swayed more than danced, wrapped around each other while music played and people watched. But Bella didn't care about the watching anymore. Didn't care about opinions or articles or what strangers thought. She cared about this moment. This man. This life they were building. "What are you thinking?" Ethan asked. "That 6 weeks ago I was sleeping on a construction site, and now I'm married to you. And somehow both of those things are real. Life's strange like that. Life's beautiful like that." After the reception, after goodbye hugs and congratulations and promises to visit Bella, and Ethan stood alone in the estate, looking out at the property. "We did it," he said. "We really did. What happens now?" She thought about the question. Thought about going back to the city, back to work, back to building a life together. Thought about media scrutiny that would probably never fully disappear. Thought about people who would always question her motives. Thought about the challenges ahead. "Now we live," she said. "We wake up every morning and choose each other. We face whatever comes knowing we're not facing it alone. We build something real and honest and ours." Sounds perfect. It won't be perfect. It'll be hard sometimes. Then we'll be hard together. He pulled her close. "You and me against whatever comes." You and me. 3 months later, Bella stood in front of a group of young women at a shelter in Brooklyn. She'd started a foundation called Second Chances, helping homeless women find employment, housing, and self-worth. Today, she was telling her story to 15 women who reminded her of herself 6 months ago. "I'm not going to lie and say it's easy," she told them. "I'm not going to promise that if you work hard enough, a billionaire will fall in love with you. That's not how life works. But I will promise this. Your circumstances right now don't define your future. Your past doesn't determine your worth. Your body, your background, your mistakes, none of that makes you less deserving of a good life." She looked at their faces, saw the hope and doubt and fear she'd felt so recently. "I slept on a construction site. I was homeless and desperate and scared. I was mocked my entire life for my body. People called me a freak, unnatural, unworthy of love. And you know what? Some people still say those things. There are articles online right now questioning whether I'm good enough for my husband, whether I deserve the life I have." She paused, letting that sink in. "But here's what I've learned: other people's opinions are just noise. What matters is what you know about yourself. I know I'm strong. I know I'm loyal. I know I'm capable of great love. And I know that I deserve to take up space in this world without apologizing." One woman in the back raised her hand. "How do you deal with people who don't believe in you?" "I stopped trying to convince them. If someone doesn't see your worth, that's their problem, not yours. Focus on the people who do see you. Build your life around them." After the session, several women approached Bella, thanking her, asking questions, sharing their own stories. One woman about Bella's age, with arms almost as muscular, pulled her aside. "I needed to hear this. I've been hiding my strength my whole life, wearing long sleeves even in summer, slouching to seem smaller. But watching you own who you are, it makes me think maybe I can too." "You can. I promise you can." That evening, Bella returned to the penthouse to find Ethan cooking dinner. He'd gotten better at it over the past few months, though he still burned things occasionally. "How was the session?" he asked. "Good. Really good. I think we're actually making a difference." "Of course you are. You're you." He kissed her. "Also, your mother called. She wants us to visit Tennessee next month. Says your hometown is finally ready to apologize for how they treated you." "I don't need their apologies." "I know. But maybe they need to give them. Maybe that's part of healing." She thought about that. About going back to Hickory Hollow as Mrs. Blackwell instead of the town freak. About showing people who'd mocked her that she'd built a good life despite their cruelty. "Okay, we'll go, but just for a day. Whatever you want." They ate dinner together, talking about their day, about the foundation, about Robert's latest business deal, about Catherine's charity gala next week. Normal conversation. Normal life. The kind of normal Bella had never imagined having. Later, lying in bed with Ethan's arms around her, Bella thought about the journey that had brought her here. Every rejection, every mockery, every night spent cold and scared and alone. All of it had led to this moment, this man, this life. "What are you thinking about?" Ethan asked sleepily. "How lucky I am." "Luck had nothing to do with it. You earned this. We earned this. Together." "Together," he agreed, pulling her closer. Bella closed her eyes, feeling safe and loved, and exactly where she belonged. The girl who'd been called a freak had become a woman who knew her worth. The homeless construction worker had become a wife, a foundation director, someone who helped others find their strength. She'd been tested, challenged, threatened, and scrutinized. She'd been offered money to leave and accused of being a gold digger. She'd faced her demons and her family's betrayal and the judgment of strangers. And she'd survived it all because she'd finally learned the truth her mother had tried to tell her years ago. Strength was her gift, not her curse. In the morning, she and Ethan would wake up and face another day together. There would be more challenges, more scrutiny, more people questioning their relationship. But there would also be love, partnership, purpose, and the knowledge that they'd chosen each other when it mattered most. Bella Morrison. Blackwell had stolen a billionaire's heart, not through calculation or manipulation, but through courage, loyalty, and the simple act of being exactly who she was. And that was a story worth telling, a life worth living, and a love worth fighting for every single day. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.